My name is Melissa Kendall, and I'm the Senior Associate Registrar here at Post University. I'm excited to be here today to talk to you about leading through innovation. I define leading through innovation as moving away from traditional thought processes and patterns, applying creativity, and seeking to find a more effective and efficient way of completing processes. When you lead through innovation, you inspire productivity in new ways and through different approaches. To lead through innovation, you must break down the barriers and constraints holding you to do things the way that they've always been done before. Innovative leadership should occur at every level of the organization. It doesn't matter your position or title. Oftentimes, the most innovative thoughts and approaches come from the individuals that are completing the processes, not from those that are managing the associates. This is why it's so important for us to understand that we're all owners of the university and that we're responsible and accountable for our portion of the business and our processes. Once you embrace that ownership, you really feel empowered and passionate to be innovative and lead through change. So the question is, how do we get to the point of that innovative leadership? I didn't always have that innovative mindset. Honestly, at one point in time, I was just a cog in the machine, getting processes completing and figuring out how to get from point A to point B. A few days after receiving my new leadership role, the president of the university I was working at sat me down in a conference room and presented me with several different issues that the registrar's office was facing and areas of opportunity that needed immediate attention. Without pause, I stated that we did not have enough workforce and we didn't have enough hours to complete the workload that was at hand. She stopped me dead in my tracks and told me a story about her grandmother's pot roast recipe. The recipe had been passed down from her grandmother to her mother. Her mother passed it down to her, and when her daughter was old enough, she began to teach her daughter the recipe. They pulled out the old Coringware pot roast pan. They pulled out the Pyrex pot roast pan. They cut the pot roast in half. They split the potatoes, the carrots, the celery, the seasoning, and the broth, and they placed both pans in the oven and cooked it. As they sat down to eat the delicious family recipe, the daughter, who had been confused the entire time, asked her mother, "Mom, why did we cut the pot roast in half and cook it in two pans?" She responded to her daughter that that's how her mother had taught her. Her daughter wasn't satisfied with that answer, so she called her grandmother. Said, "Grandma, why do we cook the pot roast in two pans?" And her grandmother responded, "Well, that's how my mother taught me." The daughter called the great grandmother. Her great grandmother did not answer that that's how she had been taught. She did not answer that it made the pot roast more delicious or the meat juicier. She simply responded that when she first cooked pot roast for her husband years and years ago, she didn't have a pan that was big enough to fit the whole roast, so she cut it in half. I walked out of that conference room with a new determination to ask the whys and the what ifs. I was excited to examine processes, policies, and procedures and to find efficiencies and new ways of completing work instead of just doing things the way that they had always been done. I adopted a new way of thinking where I start looking at the end result. Where are we trying to go? Understanding that, of course, there's policies and regulations that hold us to what needs to be done. But what happens in between those policies and regulations doesn't always have to be done the same way. One of the things that we always say is that post makes it personal. Leading through innovation does just that. So I challenge each of you, no matter the position or title you're in, to take ownership in the university and your processes, ask the whys and what ifs, seek to understand, and lead through innovation so we can build an innovative culture and truly live up to post making it personal for our students, associates, and our community.